Three, two, one, take off. Are we here? Hello. So I seem to be taking to doing a video stream instead of posting because, well, it just seems like the better thing to do. And how are you doing today? My day is like every day. A lot of work, and I don't think that I mind that. I do mind it if it's arbitrary work. You know, arbitrary work. Nobody wants to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry. Let me take care of something here really quick. So, yeah. So, Highway Troubadour is, I should have the logo up here or something, but I don't. This is, you like that trailer back there in the, out here in the middle of nowhere? Highway Troubadour is still going, right? And I have like 14 days left to reach my goal of my crowdfunding campaign. And it is not easy to raise money, I gotta tell you that. I've had a complaint or two about raising money for Highway Troubadour, but you're not going to please everybody. What are you going to do? I want to talk about, first of all, raising money for something. And I want you to know that there are millionaires. I'll put it this way. I'm not going to name any names. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But I recently played an event for affluent people, and the people who are hosting it make products for affluent people. And they were doing a fundraiser, right? In their situation, you might ask, like the occasional attack that I've had is in that case, like you would say, well, why don't you guys just use your own money? Right? But why doesn't anybody ask them that? Why? It's a strange thing, right? Anyhow, in any case, I'm trying to do something really positive for us, for my family. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about my philosophy. My philosophy in all of my endeavors is it has to meet these criteria. This is the gold medal, the gold standard of a venture. One, is it good for me? And two, is it good for my family? Three, is it good for my neighborhood, my society? Four, is it good for the whole country? And five, is it good for the world? Right? If you can get all five of those in there, you have got a gold standard. You have a golden venture if all of those things are met there. Things always get more complicated. For example, you can set off to do something that is really, really noble, and all of those things check off. And then somewhere along the way, it turns into a machine and starts grinding people up, meaning that you start having to use slave labor for things, or if you can imagine that. So that is my philosophy, though. That's my gold standard philosophy. If it's good for me, if it's good for my family, if it's good for my neighborhood, my society, if it's good for my country, and if it's good for the world. Those are all great. And I always try to do things that are that, right? You can't always achieve that, but that's the goal. And it's a great way to look at the world, I think. So I have 14 days left to raise money for Highway Troubadour. I'm fairly shy of my goal, and if I am shy of my goal, it's going to change how I do things. But I noticed that a lot of people don't know what the state of the art of trailer living is like right now. Like I've gotten ideas, like people think that I'm going to move into that thing right there, which that's actually a really good one. It's an Airstream, very expensive. So anyhow, it doesn't have any pop-outs though, that one you see, so it's just like a really narrow thing. Anyhow, people don't realize that it's state of the art. Like, I got a comment today, somebody saying that I'm not going to have a kitchen. And if you look at the post that I have at the Highway Troubadour Facebook page, you'll see the state of the art with the kitchens. The kitchen, I'm probably going to have a kitchen, almost certainly going to have a kitchen that is nicer than the kitchen that I have right now. You know, and I'll probably have an even nicer bathroom than the bathroom that I have right now. Does that mean that I'm going to raise money and I'm going to do this and I'm going to move into this luxurious lifestyle and thank you very much? No, actually, it takes a lot of sacrifice, because if you want to look at it that way, sacrifice, I have to give up the majority of my belongings, right? I'm going through so much of my stuff right now. I have to sell instruments that I don't want to sell, right? So I'm selling a very fancy set of congas, by the way, for $800 for the cases. Very, very professional congas. And limited edition. I'm selling timbales. I might have to sell this microphone. We'll see. Okay, but anyhow, so I have to downsize substantially, which I think I'm not the only person, but I'm somebody who welcomes it quite a bit, like downsizing. I've never done it before. I've just moved from one place to another, and that's not downsizing, right? I've just gotten rid of some stuff, but you end up taking a bunch of stuff. So that's what I'm going to have to be doing. So it's not like I'm going to be moving into a mansion, right? I'm saying that my kitchen is going to be nicer, which is true, because I live in a very old house, which I love. I love this house. It's not my house, though. I mean, I rent it. It's my house, like I live here, but, I can be kicked out anytime. So, anyhow, so what I'm getting at is that if you can look up like trailers and the state of the art of trailers. By the way, Grand Design, you should sponsor me, or Airstream, you should sponsor me. Somebody sponsor me. I'm writing you guys letters, and that would be great if you can help me out with that. Actually, as a matter of fact, if somebody can help me out with writing letters to these companies for sponsorship. There are companies that make trailers to live in full time, and there are companies that make trailers to go on vacation with. And I don't want to get into why they're constructed differently, but they are. And so that's what's going on there. Another thing that I noticed about doing this Highway Troubadour project is I'd like to tell you that before I get into that thing is my first guest would like for you to be Eli Bajalia. And Eli Bajalia is a permaculturist. And if you don't know what permaculture is, it's somebody who can make an ecosystem by planting the right things that are symbiotic with the other things. And it's a way of growing food and maintaining an ecosystem that one thing lends itself to the other. Like one plant puts nitrogen in the soil and another plant needs that nitrogen and uses it, et cetera, et cetera. It's like a whole biosphere. There is a video on YouTube, you can look it up, called Greening the Desert. Some guy turned part of a desert into like a jungle, okay? So you can do that. So this is part of the Highway Troubadour project, is investigating things like this, and I'm going to be talking to Eli about actionable things, and I want to ask him, why are things like this not moving at a faster pace? And I can tell you why, and I'm going to tell you part of the reason that I think that is right now. This is very important. I hope you listen to this right now. I hope you've gotten this far. My hypothesis, my idea, what I'm telling, my observation. Why things don't move faster. I'm somebody with small kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, about to be 5 and 7. And, the pandemic hit and we pulled them out of school, of course. Well, we were told not to go to school. And so we started homeschooling and doing that stuff at home. So at school, when school was in session, I could stand outside with all the other parents and just complain about the school system and this and that, and then watch videos on YouTube talking about that the school system was constructed in the early 1900s because employers needed factory workers and they needed people to count things and they needed people to work cash registers, et cetera, and operate machinery and be able to read for those reasons. So it was like an assembly line school, which still is an assembly line school. Everything is very like an assembly line. We put kids together based off of age, and Sir Roger, what is it? Roger Penrose, Sir Nile Rodgers, something like that. Some education expert whose name I can't remember right now. He is like one of the world's leading education experts. He doesn't understand why we have school the way that we have it right now. Why we gather kids group them by age instead of by interest or ability or et cetera, et cetera. All these different ways need to be explored. Getting back to my point here, that's part of the point, is that I could stand outside with other parents and complain about the school system. But as soon as I can even complain about the school system with teachers, as soon as I actually make as soon as I take action and I say, okay, I'm going to homeschool my kids or try something different, all of a sudden, how could you? The school system is so wonderful. How can you pull them? They're going to miss all this great stuff, and all of a sudden it becomes the best thing ever. Right? So, again, with this trailer, things are a certain way in society. I don't want to be a consumerist. I'm not going to go live in the woods in a tent. If you just look at the Highway Troubadour Facebook page, you'll see a picture of a kitchen that is probably nicer than your kitchen. It's definitely nicer than my kitchen, and that's in a trailer, okay? So anyhow, this trailer thing, the same thing. It's like you actually, people you have people who are screaming revolution, and then when you actually take a step towards it, instead of talking, everybody, they freak out. They're like, no, actually, I didn't really mean it. I just wanted Jessica to see me say that, because I wanted her to think I was cool, because I wanted to sleep with her. Or whoever, Maria, James, whoever you want to sleep with. Right? It's that is the case, and that's something that I have, that needs a name. That, we have to come up with a name for that right now. It doesn't have to be the best name. We could change the name later. But that could be called actionable phobia, or bluff. I guess you're calling the person's bluff, but it's not really a bluff. They don't know that it's a bluff until you do it. So, hidden bluff revelation. Okay, we'll go with that for now. It's a hidden bluff revelation caused by an action. I'll work on that title. We just change the name later. But you you come up with names, you can anchor them and stuff, and even you can come up with an acronym. Hidden Bluff HBR, Hidden Bluff Revelation. That's a Hidden Bluff Revelation. So, one more tidbit about that. When I started in Jacksonville, Florida, I started a bicycle coalition. And when I started that coalition the reason that worked is because we had a team of people, a small group of people that actually went through with what they said that they were going to do. Anyhow, I was part of that team, and I started a Jacksonville Bicycle Coalition, and even back then, the idea to do so was just great. And then when you actually did it, then people started complaining about all kinds of stuff about it, right? Anyhow, moving on. That is part of the reason why I think what we'll find at the bottom of the barrel when we talk with Eli Bajalia, the permaculturist. Part of the reason that's what I think is going to be down there. So we can come up with a label for it, come up with an acronym for it, and then we can engage it and deal with it and try to spot it, right, and figure it out. Because even mental health counselors, they say, if you can name something, it's much easier for you to deal with it. And I've experienced that myself. You can give it an identity. Now, we're in uncharted territory. The pandemic situation. There's so much to talk about, like always. And the pandemic, nobody living, maybe one or two people, but nobody living has lived through this, and it's uncharted territory for us. I'll tell you one thing: I am not interested in being lazy. I'm not interested. I am interested in hard work. I like working hard for things that I believe in and things that are good. There are plenty of things to do that are noble and worthy to do, for us to do. And I would love it if more of us can jump on board with doing these things. I'm not opposed to receiving people's help for any of these projects. Anything that you see me doing, amazing shirts or link merch or Highway Troubadour or just my music, I need help, okay? I need help. Like, you probably need help with the things that you're doing. Another reason why things may not be working, which is, I'm in the complaining phase right now, I guess. You have to document the problems, the complaints. Another reason is that everybody's trying to start their own thing. Like, somebody starts something, like here in the city that I live in, Jacksonville right now, somebody started a festival, and then somebody else goes, like, I'm going to start my own festival. And there's like little cliques, right? But none of them, they're not all going to work out, because the population here is not the population that's going to go patronize those places. Can you use that word that way? It's always freaked me out. The patrons of those places, the numbers are not enough, right? It's not the town center where it appeals to a broad mass of people because of the diversity of stores there, which is a mall. The town center is a mall here. And anyhow, that's another reason that things don't work. So I need help. I need help with amazing shirts. Derek Hudson is the guy doing the back end. I hope still. Derek Hudson, he's a computer programmer, and he's doing the back end of the amazing shirts for the kids. And then link merch is more complicated. That's a more complicated product. But for now, everything that you see, amazing shirts, Highway Troubadour, kids, amazing shirts, link shirts, all the copy, all of the literature, all of the graphics, that's all me, okay? That's just besides me raising my kids and doing this and figuring out how to video cast and et cetera, and doing nothing. No, I don't have a girlfriend. No, I haven't had a girlfriend. Who's going to have time for that when you're doing all this stuff, right? I may as well just be a priest. Or ascetic. Maybe I am kind of an ascetic, actually. So, yeah, it's uncharted territory we're at, and I would love it if you donated to my project. I can't stress enough how important it is that small donations are important, and spreading the word about it is the way that it's going to work. People are not going to they're not going to give me $5,000. They're not going to give me $1,000. Well, somebody did. Well, a couple people did, actually. But I should include one of those 1,000 in there. Into the campaign, but it was a different kind of a situation. It's not unofficial. Anyhow, small donations, if you share Highway Troubadour with people, and hopefully they resonate with it. It's kind of, I think it's not so easy to resonate with it until they see my work, and I can't put the cart before the horse, so to speak. I'm trying to do both at the same time, to some degree. So hopefully I can interview Eli Bajalia within this week, the permaculturist. And that's all that I have to say for now. There's always more to talk about. And but I'll let you go for now because I'm almost 20 minutes into this. HighwayTroubadour.com, HighwayTroubadour.com, ladies and gentlemen. Please, small donations and share my project. That's how it's going to work. It's so hard to get people to share things on social media, including myself. But nobody really asks me to share stuff, and when they do, I do share it most of the time. I think once or twice something's been so offensive, I'm like, I'm not going to share that. Look at my video and check it out, HighwayTroubadour.com. I hope things go well for you. Life gets hard sometimes. Hang in there. Stay hard.